what's going on, guys? And you guys already know, like I just had to respond to Globku's new tier list video. Um to be honest, this tier list is like way better than his last one because we already know how terrible his last tier list was. But yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about it right now, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel, what I disagree with, and this and that. I'm not gonna like try to say. I'm gonna go based off of his tier list. Like if I don't agree with like a placement, I'll just say like where I think they should have been at on his tier list instead of like thinking of my own, because my tier list, I don't have an S plus. I just have S, A tier, and B tier. So we're just gonna go off of this, and I'm gonna see what I disagree with. So now let's start with the S tier and the S plus tier. Now, I think a lot of people's S tier is kind of going to be the same now, and they might be interchangeable between the characters because, like I said, on my tier list, I have Enmu ahead of Susumaru and Nezuko ahead of Susumaru as well. But like I said, I totally understand his reasoning why he put Susumaru above Enmu, because like I said, she is cracked, and the fact that people are starting to use her piercing kick in neutral, it's just kind of the ultimate mix right now in her toolkit. She is hard to approach, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail. I understand why he put her there. I can agree with his S tier. Now putting Akaza in S plus, I understand why he did that, but it could be a stretch. But I understand Akaza kinda is dominating the game right now. He is basically the ultimate meta, best character in the game. We already know that, that's no debate. So I can see why he did that. Now let's talk about the A plus and the A tier. Now this is where the list gets a little bit weird. I think some characters are placed too high and too low. Like I said, I am going off of his tier list, so I'm not gonna say anything like take out a tier or stuff like that, right? So HK Tandra, I agree. A plus is fine with him. He's basically almost an S tier character. With some tweaks, he could be S tier easily. Water Tundra being A plus, totally understandable. I think he's a sleeper character sometimes because people think after they nerfed his Water Wheel he's not that valuable, which is completely false. He's still strong. I think he's better than Giyu too, like right now in the current meta. So I would keep HK Tundra and Water Tundra in A plus. Now I would bring Rui up to A plus. I don't know why he put Rui this low. Like I understand his reasonings. He said that like with the switch tech now and the meta now, people know how to get around Rui and it hurts him more, right? Now, while I do agree, I still think Rui is a very strong character in terms of his matchups against Slayers. He can easily dominate Slayers. His toolkit is the best for Slayers. Now I know his damage isn't great, but he can still zone you out and mash. Like his light attacks, his range is ridiculous. His demon skills is perfect against Slayers. It's just completely useless against demons. Like I said, if they was to tweak Rui a little bit, like his demon skills, he'd be more valuable too against like the demons. So I would definitely put him in A plus. I'd probably put him behind HK Tandro and in front of Water Tandro. Now Murata, I don't know why he put Murata over Rui and Sakonji. I mean, I understand, but I would never put Murata over Sakonji. Like they both basically have the same flaw, which is they're both slow. And Sakonji does more damage than Murata, but let me keep it organized. Giyu and Rengoku, right? Now, Giyu being A plus, you would think to yourself, you know what? With his toolkit, he probably can be, right? He's a good match against all Slayers, right? He's just not really good against demons, right? And he does mid damage, right? And he only does great damage against with his Dead Calm. And he has some flaws too that makes him, he's basically a fair character now. I guess he can stay A plus, but he'd have to be at the bottom, if not the very top of A tier. But A plus is fine because Giyu is only missing slight like buffs to make him an S tier, so I can agree with that. Like I said, I'd put HK Tandro, Rui, Water Tandro, then Giyu. Now Rengoku, I would drop him. Rengoku, I mean, I understand why. I'd probably put him in the lowest of A plus or even the highest of A tier because Rengoku just has too many flaws. At the highest level, he has too many openings, worse grab recovery. Like he's just like he's a beginner character, right? He can be used at a high level to a degree, but it just doesn't really work out that well for him due to his openings. So I'd put him in the highest A tier. I wouldn't put him in A plus. I'd put him above Yahaba. And then after Yahaba, I would have Rengoku there, Yahaba. I would have Sakonji, then probably then Murata, right? But without, I'm gonna do some tweaking, right? I think that Inosuke, let's go to B tier and C tier, right? Inosuke is too low. Like I said, I always think Inosuke is a underrated character. Now, people say it is kind of hard just to get in with a dash, right? Inosuke has a good dash speed, right? He doesn't have the best entry tools, but his assist is pretty good. Like, overall, he's a solid character, right? Now, I do personally think that he's better than Murata. I would use Inosuke over Murata any day. Like, in terms of the meta, I think Inosuke is underrated. So I'd have in A tier, I'd have Rengoku, Yahaba, then Sakonji, Inosuke, then Murata, I guess. I don't, like, me personally, I wouldn't put Murata in A tier, but I understand his reasoning. Like I said, his reasonings for putting these characters in, like, where they belong is totally understandable. Like I said, I was listening to his reasoning too, because that's fair, right? Like I said, this tier list is way better than his last tier list. So, like, I totally understand why he put these characters, right? He said Inosuke has no entry tools. It's really hard for him to get in, and his crazy cutting doesn't really have a big hitbox as what it looks like, right? Which is totally fair. And in the meta, it's kind of hard to use him. So I understand, but I wouldn't put him in B tier, and I wouldn't put him below Murata. So I would definitely change Rengoku an A, Yahaba, Sakonji, Inosuke, Murata. That's how the A tier be. Now B tier. He's saying, so Shinobu, right? I thought to myself, maybe Shinobu's a little bit too low, right? She can fight Slayers, right? But I understand. In this meta, she's completely useless. Her skills cannot get in on zoning. All she has is her dash, which, like I said, it doesn't make it any easier to get in, even though she's pretty fast. I think she's a cause of speed, right? Other than that, like, she doesn't really have anything going for her. Like I said, she needs a buff. I don't think she should take that much damage and do really nothing. So I understand why her assist isn't really valuable anymore, because of how easy it is to, like, parry. Well, not fair. You could parry most assists easily, but, like, against, like, floaty demons who can stay in the air, yeah, she's kind of useless. So I understand why she put her in B. So she can stay in B tier. I understand. I'll put her at the top. Now, Sabito, Makomo, and Yushiro. Now, this is a weird placement, right? Yushiro could stay C tier. He's the worst character in the game. No questions. I think he's the worst. I can't use him. I tried my hardest. Yushiro's not good, and what his reasoning is, it's totally understandable. Makomo, I think she is B tier with Sabito. Sabito is a B tier character, and Makomo is too. But I would put Makomo above Sabito because, like I said, Makomo has better entry tools in a toolkit to deal with more situations than Sabito can. Sabito does mid damage, doesn't have good entry tools, and a mid dash, while Makomo has a good dash. She got the best, like, not the best water wheel, but a really good water wheel to punish a lot of stuff quick. And, you know, she just has a good DP to go through projectiles. So overall, she's just better. So his B tier, I guess I'd keep Shinobu there. Shinobu could stay. Then I put Makomo, then Sabito, then Yushiro C, because Yushiro is just terrible. I would never put, like, no character on the same tier as him. It's just no way. It's no way. So now let's look at the whole list again, right? I think, like I said, his hottest take was putting Murata over Rui. I think that's the hottest take. Rui's way too low. Rengoku is too high. I think with his flaws, I don't think he should be A+. I know people were saying that Giyu was too high. He should be dropped. But like I said, I totally understand why Giyu is A+. I think A+ is a tier for characters that, like, are really close to being S if they just had some, like, minor tweaks to them. Like, I don't think Rengoku needs more than minor tweaks to make him S tier, if I'm gonna be honest. So Giyu could stay. Rui would be A+ tier for me. Yahaba could stay A. Rengoku would be A. Sakonji, Inosuke, I would put A. Murata, I guess you could put him A if, like, for his understanding, like, his reasoning, I guess he could be A. Personally, I'd put him in B. Shinobu could stay B, Sabato could stay B, and Makoma could stay B, and Yusho could stay C. So, like I said, tier list is understandable, way more respectable. Still up for debate because these placements are, you know, it's a little bit of a reach. But like I said, I totally understand. He's not really he's still kind of considered a casual to the game. I know he watches it a lot, but playing it is a different thing. But I respect this tier list this time a lot more than last time. So that's all I wanted to say. I had to respond to this, you know. I just had to talk about it. So we could discuss more in the comments to see if you guys agree to disagree, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.